The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. First of all, thank you to user NZ8M12JRLW for this recommendation. Luzia is a young Jewish maid living in 16th century Spain. What people don't know about her is that she has special powers. So she can fix a broken glass and heal wounds and various other things, all because of things that her aunt taught her. This catches people's attention, and Luzia finds herself performing in front of people these miracles, and it gets more and more noticed until she is brought before this sort of miracles competition with other people who can perform miraculous things. In this, she meets her mentor, Sant'Angelo, who has dark, mystical secrets of his own. I have never read anything by Leigh Bardugo, so I have nothing to compare this to, and I came into this book with basically no expectations. But I have to give a lot of credit to the author for the setup of this book, which is brilliant. You have the main character who has these secret powers, and it keeps escalating, and you, as a reader, you keep asking yourself the question, what if she gets found out? Because there's the Inquisition that's alive and well at this time, and they're on the lookout for devil-like magic, and she's Jewish. So you have this escalation of what's going to happen when the secret comes out. She knows that she could get condemned to death at any point in this, as long as if she makes any sort of misstep. But on the other side of that, her other option is to not use her magic and live and die in obscurity as this maid, which is just a miserable existence. And so why not have at least some change of scenery? If you're going to die, you may as well die using your powers, and instead of just being uncomfortable and forgotten into old age. I love that dynamic in the book because Luzia is constantly asking herself that question. And so it's fun to go along with the character because she really doesn't have any good options. I also have to give a lot of credit to the writing style of this book. That's probably my favorite part of the book. And she is good at descriptions, but even more than that, it's how she talks about what the characters are thinking about. They just make for such good, interesting scenes that I think are going to stick with me. To share a couple of examples, slight spoilers here, but I'm masking what the characters are. One of the characters finds themselves in the Inquisition, and then a husband and wife are arguing about what they should do about it. Because the wife thinks they should go and speak up for this person, and the husband thinks they need to run away as far as possible. And in the book, they talk about how the wife realizes in that moment that if the wife were the one in the Inquisition, the husband would be saying the same thing. She would not have the support of her husband. It's such a cool realization to have in a marriage. I should say, it's such an awful realization to have in a marriage, but I love the way she puts it on the page. Another example is a character thinks they're getting away in this carriage, that they're going to get away safely, but then the carriage stops, and then through just a few lines of dialogue, the character realizes that they haven't gotten away and they're going to be killed by the carriage driver, and it was all part of the plan, and the person realizes it, they know they're going to be murdered, they know they've been set up, and it all clicks into place. And so they just have this quiet moment of, oh, so this is how it all ends. I love the way she does that with the characters and the way she sets up the book. There's a lot of those kinds of examples I thought were just great. I also like the ending of the book because in the beginning of the book you have the setup of the characters, and each character kind of gives away who they are in what their principles are. And so as you get to the end of the book, you see those principles play out to their logical conclusion. And so it's cool. You see a lot of characters get their just desserts, and you see a lot of other characters end in other ways. And I don't want to say anything to give anything away, but I thought it was fun that last bit of the book, watching the end result play out. The downside of the book is I didn't really understand the magic system. Luzia can perform these miracles by saying these ancient words that go through her like music, but I didn't really understand what the limitations were or why she didn't do it more often. It was a little confusing to me, and I also didn't understand the curse of the mentor character in the story either. And also, I didn't really buy the love story between those two characters. Why do they like each other? I never really got that. But if dealing with an underexplained magic system and an underdeveloped love story are the price to pay for getting writing this good, I think it's worth it. I always love finding books like this where you see the author's talent at the keyboard on full display. So overall, I can safely recommend this book. I'm going to give it 4 stars.